Turn on the television in the 1960s and 70s, and bands were coming right into your living room every week. Some started on TV, others used it to reach millions, and a few invented the music video before MTV existed. Time has a way of forgetting, even when the influence never left. These are 12 forgotten TV bands that changed music forever. Number 12. The Monkees.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
They called them the Prefab Four. Four young men assembled by producers Bob Rafelson and Bert Schneider for a television show that premiered in September 1966. Davy Jones, Mickey Dolenz, Michael Nesmith, and Peter Tork became the Monkees. And suddenly, the line between television and music blurred in ways nobody had seen before. The show ran for 2 seasons on NBC, and during that time, something unexpected happened. What started as a manufactured concept became genuine. The Monkees sold more than 75 million records worldwide. Their 1967 album Headquarters knocked the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band from the #1 spot on the Billboard charts. Michael Nesmith's mother invented liquid paper, but Michael invented something else. He pioneered the concept of the music video. Those quick-cut sequences on the Monkees show, with the band running around to their songs, those weren't just comedy bits. They were the blueprint. When MTV launched in 1981, they looked back at the Monkees and saw the future they'd already created 15 years earlier. The band fought for creative control, and they got it.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
By their third album, they were writing, playing, and producing their own music. Nesmith went on to create pop clips, which directly inspired MTV. The Monkees showed that a TV band could be real musicians, and that visual presentation could be just as important as the sound.
I'm in love. I'm a believer.
Number 11. The Partridge Family.
I think I love you.
Friday nights in 1970, ABC gave America a new kind of family. The Partridge Family premiered in September, starring Shirley Jones and her real-life stepson David Cassidy. The show followed a widowed mother and her 5 children traveling the country in a painted school bus, performing as a rock band.
I'd hide it to myself and never talk about it.
The music was real, even if the setup was fiction. Shirley Jones and David Cassidy actually sang on the records, backed by some of the best session musicians in Los Angeles. The Wrecking Crew, the same players who worked with the Beach Boys and Phil Spector, created that Partridge Family sound.
I think I love you.
David Cassidy became a phenomenon. Teen magazines couldn't print his face fast enough. The Partridge Family had real hits. I Think I Love You sold over 5 million copies and hit #1 in 1970. The album went platinum. For the next 4 years, they had 8 more top 40 singles. The show made something clear that hadn't been quite so obvious before. Television could create music stars, not just showcase them. The visual element, the characters, the stories. They made people care about the music differently. When kids bought a Partridge Family record, they were buying into the whole world they saw on TV every week.
I only want to make you happy, and if you say, hey, go away,
The show ended in 1974, but it had proven something important. A TV band could have real commercial success and reach audiences that might never go to concerts or seek out records on their own. Television was now part of the music business in ways nobody had imagined 10 years earlier.
I think I love you. I think I love you.
Number 10. The Archies. They weren't even real people. The Archies were cartoon characters on CBS's The Archie Show, which premiered in September 1968. Archie Andrews, Betty, Veronica, Jughead, and Reggie played in a band, and every episode featured musical segments.
You are my candy girl, and you got me.
But here's what made them matter. Don Kirshner, The man behind the Monkees' early sound created the music. Ron Dante sang lead vocals. The songs were professionally crafted pop, and Sugar Sugar became one of the biggest hits of 1969. It stayed at number 1 for 4 weeks and became the year's best-selling single, moving over 6 million copies. Think about that for a moment. A cartoon band outsold the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and every real band in America in 1969. The Archies proved that the music could exist completely separately from any physical performers. The audience didn't need to see real people to connect with a song. This opened doors that the music industry walked through for decades after. Animated bands, virtual performers, studio creations. The Archies demonstrated that none of it mattered if the song was good enough. The record-buying public voted with their wallets, and they bought the music, not the reality. Number 9. The Cowsills before the Partridge Family. There was the real thing. The Cowsills were an actual family band from Newport, Rhode Island. Brothers Bill, Bob, Barry, John, Paul, and their mother Barbara, along with sister Susan, performed together starting in the mid-1960s. They appeared on The Tonight Show and The Ed Sullivan Show, and their wholesome image made them perfect for television. In 1967, The Rain, the Park, and Other Things hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their cover of the title song from the musical Hair reached number 2 in 1969. The Cowsills were the inspiration for the Partridge Family TV show, though they weren't cast in it. Network executives wanted Shirley Jones instead of Barbara Cowsill, and the family turned down the opportunity. Still, they'd shown that America loved watching families make music together. Their television appearances throughout the late 1960s helped establish the visual language of family bands. The matching outfits, the harmony vocals, the clean-cut image, all of it translated perfectly to the small screen. When kids across America saw the Cowsills on TV, they saw something that felt accessible, like maybe their own family could do that too. The Cowsills sold more than 20 million records, and their presence on television helped make that possible. They represented a gentler side of the late 1960s, a counterpoint to the harder rock and protest music of the era. Number 8. The Banana Splits. Saturday mornings in 1968 meant The Banana Splits Adventure Hour on NBC. Fleagle, Bingo, Drooper, and Snorky were 4 animal characters in a variety show that mixed live action, comedy sketches, and cartoons. But they were also a band, and their theme song became part of American culture. The music came from studio professionals, the same Wrecking Crew musicians who worked on countless hits. The theme song, with its unforgettable tra-la-la chorus, became one of the most recognizable television themes of the era. Here's what made the Banana Splits matter. Beyond Saturday morning entertainment, they showed that music could be packaged in completely new ways for younger audiences. The distinction between kids' show and music program dissolved. The Banana Splits were psychedelic, colorful, and weird, reflecting the aesthetic of the late 1960s while remaining appropriate for children. The show ran until 1970, and in those 2 years, it helped shape how an entire generation experienced music and television together. The format influenced children's programming for years afterward, and bands like the Ramones would later cover the theme song, proving its lasting cultural impact. Number 7. The Kids from the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch wasn't conceived as a musical show, but it became one. From 1969 to 1974, ABC's sitcom about a blended family regularly featured the kids singing. The producers saw an opportunity, and soon Brady Bunch albums were in record stores. Christopher Knight, Mike Lookinland, Susan Olsen, Eve Plum, Maureen McCormick, and Barry Williams recorded multiple albums. Merry Christmas from the Brady Bunch in 1970 was followed by Meet the Brady Bunch in 1972. The kids performed on the show, in variety specials, and in live concerts. Were they great musicians? Number. But that wasn't the point. The Brady kids demonstrated that television characters could extend into the music world based purely on the audience's affection for them. Fans bought the records because they loved the show, and the records reinforced their connection to the show. This circular relationship between TV and music became a template. It showed networks and producers that musical elements could boost a show's commercial appeal beyond advertising revenue. Merchandising, records, concerts. It all became part of the television business model. The Brady kids weren't forgotten because they were great musicians. They're important because they showed how thoroughly television and music could integrate, how one could support and extend the other. Number 6. Josie and the Pussycats. In September 1970, CBS premiered Josie and the Pussycats, an animated series about an all-girl rock band. Josie, Valerie, and Melody traveled the world in their cat-themed outfits, playing music and solving mysteries. The voices came from Kathy Douglas, Patricia Holloway, and Cherie Moore, and they actually sang. The music was bubblegum pop, produced by Danny Jansen and Bobby Hart, and it was good. The soundtrack album featured songs that held up as legitimate pop music, not just cartoon novelties. Josie and the Pussycats broke ground as an all-female rock band in mainstream children's entertainment. Valerie was one of the first black female characters in a lead role in Saturday morning television. The show ran for just one season, 16 episodes, but its impact lasted longer. The concept proved that animated bands could present progressive ideas. An integrated, all-female rock band was still relatively rare in real life in 1970. But kids watching Saturday morning cartoons saw it as normal. The show helped shape expectations about what bands could be. The music existed on its own terms, too. Kids bought the records, and decades later, a live-action movie in 2001 introduced Josie and the Pussycats to a new generation. The original cartoon showed that representation in music-based entertainment mattered, even when the band was animated. Number 5. The Bugaloos. We would fly the earth for a friend, 'cause we know. 1970 brought The Bugaloos to NBC's Saturday morning lineup. Sid and Marty Krofft, the minds behind H.R. Pufnstuf, created this show about 4 British insects who formed a rock band and lived in Tranquility Forest. Courage, IQ, Harmony, and Joy performed in matching bug-wing costumes, and the music was surprisingly sophisticated. The songs blended rock, pop, and folk influences, with the performers actually singing. John McEndoe, Wayne Lauriea, John Philpott, and Caroline Ellis brought musical credibility to what could have been just another kids' show. And there's nothing we won't do. The Bugaloos only lasted one season, 17 episodes, but they represented television's attempt to bring the counterculture aesthetic to children's programming. The Krofts specialized in psychedelic visuals, and the Bugaloos were part of that tradition. Colorful, strange, and musical. For a friend like you. What made them notable was the quality of the music. The songs weren't throwaways. They had real melodies, harmonies, and arrangements that respected the intelligence of young viewers. The show demonstrated that children's programming could be musically ambitious.
We'll always be there to show that we care. Right up.
The Bugaloos have become cult favorites, remembered by those who grew up watching Saturday mornings in the early 1970s. They showed that even a one-season show could leave an impression when the music was good enough.
For a friend, we will fly the earth for a friend.
Number 4. The Hudson Brothers. The Hudson Brothers, Bill, Brett, and Mark, had a variety show on CBS in 1974, then another on CBS in 1975. The Hudson Brothers Show, and later, the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show, brought their blend of comedy and music to television. Before TV, they'd been a real touring band. They opened for acts like the Supremes and had regional hits. When they moved to television, they brought legitimate musical ability with them. Their shows featured musical performances alongside comedy sketches, a format that influenced later variety programming. The Hudson Brothers weren't massive stars, but they were part of the shift happening in 1970s television. Variety shows were everywhere, and many of them featured musical acts as their foundation. The brothers showed that musicians could be comedians and entertainers, that the categories didn't have to be separate. Their influence extended beyond their shows. Brett Hudson later worked with Cher on her variety show. The brothers remained active in music and entertainment, and their TV work helped establish that performers could move between different entertainment mediums fluidly. They represented a particular moment in television history when variety shows dominated networks, and musical performance was expected to be part of any successful entertainment show. That era didn't last, but while it did, the Hudson Brothers were part of shaping it.
So you are a star.
Number 3. The Osmonds. The Andy Williams Show introduced the Osmonds to America in 1962. Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jay, and Donnie were brothers from Utah who sang barbershop harmonies with precision and charm. They appeared regularly on Williams' show for years before striking out on their own.
I don't care what they say, I don't care what you heard.
By 1971, the Osmonds had their own hits. One Bad Apple topped the charts. The family launched Donnie and Marie, a variety show that ran from 1976 to 1979, showcasing the musical talents of Donnie and his sister Marie. The show mixed music, comedy, and ice skating, and it pulled in millions of viewers every week. The Osmonds sold over 100 million records worldwide. They transitioned from child performers to teen idols to variety show hosts, all while maintaining their musical output. Their television presence was constant throughout the 1970s, making them one of the most visible musical acts of the decade.
How could I? You won't give me a chance to prove my love to you.
What the Osmonds demonstrated was sustainability. Many TV bands were flashes, successful for a season or two before fading. The Osmonds lasted. They showed that television exposure could build and maintain a musical career over years and decades. Their variety show format became a template for how musical families could present themselves to mass audiences.
Rather hurt myself than to ever hurt you.
The family-friendly image, the musical versatility, the ability to entertain across multiple formats. The Osmonds made it look effortless, and their success inspired other families to try following the same path. Number 2. The DeFranco Family. The DeFranco Family.
It's a love thing and a love thing.
Starring Tony DeFranco was a variety show that ran during the summer of 1973 on ABC. Tony and his siblings, Benny, Marisa, Nino and Merlina were another musical family trying to capture the magic that the Cowsills and the Osmonds had found.
It's a love thing, and when we meet, it's a good time.
They'd already had success with Heartbeat, It's a Love Beat, which reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1973. The song sold over 1 million copies, earning them a gold record. It was catchy, upbeat, and perfectly suited for top 40 radio. For a brief moment, the DeFranco family seemed like they might be the next big thing.
Listen to my love sound. Feel it getting stronger.
Tony DeFranco was 13 years old when Heartbeat hit big. He had the voice, the looks, and the stage presence that made teenage girls scream. The family seemed poised for bigger things, and the variety show was meant to capitalize on that hit and establish them as television personalities.
All my defenses, overcoming all of my senses.
The show featured the standard variety format of the era: musical performances, comedy sketches, and guest stars. The DeFranco kids were talented performers, and they worked hard to entertain. But the summer of 1973 was crowded with entertainment options, and finding an audience proved difficult.
It's a love thing, and a love thing.
The show didn't last, just 12 episodes. But the DeFranco family represented television's ongoing belief that musical families could be entertainment goldmines. Networks kept trying to recreate the formula, because sometimes it worked spectacularly. When it did work, like with the Osmonds or the Partridge Family, the rewards were enormous. When it didn't, shows disappeared quickly.
It's good vibration, oh, a heartbeat. It's a love thing.
The DeFrancos released several more singles after Heartbeat, including Abracadabra and Save the Last Dance for Me, but none matched the success of their breakthrough hit. The pattern was familiar: one big song, a television show to extend the moment, and then the challenge of staying relevant in a rapidly changing music landscape.
It's a love thing, and when we meet, it's a good time.
The DeFrancos couldn't sustain their initial success, but they were part of the ecosystem. Every musical family that appeared on television in the 1970s contributed to the larger understanding that music and TV were inseparable. Each show, successful or not, refined the format a little more, taught producers what worked and what didn't.
Listen to my love sound. Temperature is rising.
Their story was common for TV bands: one big hit, a television show, and then a gradual fade. The music business has always been full of acts that had their moment and then stepped back into regular life. But in that moment, they were part of the cultural landscape, and their music reached millions of homes through the combination of radio and television.
Girl, there's just no disguise, not a heartbeat. It's
The DeFranco family showed the other side of the TV band phenomenon. Not everyone became the Osmonds. Not every show ran for years, but they were all part of the same movement: the merging of television and music into something that previous generations hadn't seen. They all contributed, successful or not, to changing how America experienced music.
and a love thing is good vibration, oh, a heartbeat.
Number 1. The Harlem Globetrotters. The Harlem Globetrotters had been basketball entertainers since 1926, but in 1970, CBS gave them an animated series. Harlem Globetrotters ran Saturday mornings, featuring the team having adventures and solving mysteries while playing basketball and performing music. The show was part of the Saturday morning explosion that networks were experiencing. Kids wanted entertainment, and anything that could combine action, adventure, and music had potential. The Globetrotters already had name recognition. They'd been touring the world for decades, performing their unique blend of basketball skills and comedy. The animated show took the team and dropped them into wild scenarios. One week they might be in ancient Egypt, the next in the Wild West. But regardless of the setting, there was always basketball and always music. The show included original songs performed by the characters, and the real Globetrotters recorded music as well. They released the Globetrotters album in 1970, featuring the team members singing funk and soul numbers. Meadowlark Lemon became a recognizable voice, and the team showed that athletes could cross into music and television entertainment. The album had the Globetrotters singing about basketball, about life, about whatever moved them. Was it polished? Not always. But it was genuine, and kids loved it. The music had that early 1970s funk sound, wah-wah guitars, punchy horn sections, and grooves that made you want to move. Songs like Sweet Georgia Brown, their theme song, had been associated with the team for years, but now they were creating original material that stood on its own. The animated series ran until 1973, with various iterations continuing into the mid-1970s. The Harlem Globetrotters popcorn machine aired from 1974 to 1975, keeping the team on television even after the original show ended. Later, the Super Globetrotters, in 1979, gave team members superhero powers, showing how far the concept could stretch. The Globetrotters proved that television could transform any entertainment concept into a musical one. If basketball players could have a cartoon show with songs, anything was possible. The boundaries between different types of entertainment kept dissolving throughout the 1970s, and the Globetrotters were right there helping to dissolve them. The cultural impact was broader than just the show. The Globetrotters brought black entertainers into Saturday morning programming in a positive, fun context. At a time when television was still catching up with civil rights progress, the Globetrotters were heroes to kids of all backgrounds. They were funny, talented, and cool. Everything a Saturday morning star should be. The music introduced young viewers to soul and funk sounds, expanding their musical awareness. Kids who might not have heard funk music on their parents' radios were getting it from the Globetrotters on Saturday mornings. The show became a gateway, introducing musical styles to audiences who might not have encountered them otherwise. The real team embraced their animated counterparts. They understood that Saturday morning television was reaching millions of kids, potential future fans who would buy tickets to see the Globetrotters live. The cartoon was marketing, but it was also genuine entertainment that expanded what the Globetrotters brand could be. Were the Harlem Globetrotters a great band? No, they were great basketball players who sang sometimes. But their presence on television as multimedia entertainers showed how thoroughly music had integrated into every corner of entertainment by the early 1970s. Athletes, comedians, actors, everyone was making music, or at least trying to, because television had proven that music sold everything better. The Globetrotters' animated adventures might seem like a footnote in TV history, but they represented something important. They showed that music could be part of any show, any format, any concept. The walls between categories had come down, and the Globetrotters rolled right through, dribbling their basketball and singing their songs. Television created stars, television sold records, and television changed how we experienced music. These 12 bands came into our homes every week, and while time has dimmed their spotlight, their influence never really went away. They showed us that music could be visual, that families could rock, that cartoons could top the charts, and that the line between performer and character could blur until it disappeared completely. The next time you watch a music video, or see a band in a commercial, or hear a cartoon character sing, remember these forgotten TV bands. They helped build the world where all of that became normal. They changed music forever, even if we forgot to remember them. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, hit that like button and subscribe for more forgotten music history. What TV band do you remember from your childhood? Let us know in the comments below.